All right. So the drivers have had. Give me a sec. Hello, Cody. I think we are live, but say something. Ah, well, we're not yet. Wait, no. Say something.
Something. Hello, everybody.
Perfect. Perfect. You can be heard, at least as far as I know.
Cool.
Dim, 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 dim. So I've had a little bit of a snack, of course, using for the first time this streaming computer for streaming. Surprise.
Yeah.
I had to fumble a little bit, but it is the way it is. So the drivers have had 40 minutes of qualifying. Now the system has been reset because now they get 3 minutes of warm up and 120 minutes of race. Yes? Were you saying something?
Oh no, I'm just excited.
They can run solo or in teams up to 3. That's up to them. And as far as I know, we have 2 or 3 teams. Wait, let me check. I think it's something like 2 teams or something like that, and all the others are racing solo. We have, at the last count, 13 cars on the grid.
Wonderful. Alrighty, and I've got the spreadsheet pulled up. I've got the control panel as well, so we can take a look at all that while we're here. And I'm doing it all on one monitor 'cause I'm in a different place, so
Hey,
everything is nice and small. Yeah.
cozy.
Yep.
Let's ask the chat and the channel on YouTube, the stream. Now I have it. Let's ask the stream if everything sounds right. And I have to get accustomed that I have 2 keyboards now.
Oh yes. Yep.
Always start typing on the wrong one. Not a good thing. So warm up is gonna be ending in 1 minute 20. Nobody's doing warm up. They're all getting stuck up on beer, water, or whatever they want to drink.
Indeed. It's a 3-minute warm up, and we're down to the last minute of it. So I think most drivers are probably taking the opportunity after qualifying, stretch their legs, wring out their hands, grab a drink of water before they begin.
So, how's the weather with you, Cody?
The weather is actually quite decent out here. It's sunny, 70 to 80 degrees around that, which for Texas is fantastic. That's Fahrenheit.
I was expecting as much.
Yeah. It's I mean, 70 degrees Celsius would be probably a little too warm for comfort.
I think the hottest there's ever been on Earth was 80 degrees, and that was like, whoa. So
that was probably in Death Valley, Arizona, is my guess.
I would have to take a look. I have no idea. I was gonna say Siberia, but I think that's where the coldest temperatures ever were recorded.
Indeed. Well, I'm excited for this race. This is going to be good. It's interesting to see. Drivers had the option of going solo or team for their race, and I'm I'm curious. Do you think that there will be an advantage for drivers racing as part of a team versus drivers opting to go the whole distance solo?
Because it's 2 hours, I'm not sure about that, as I think 2 hours can be survived quite well if you're solo.
Right.
But on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the driver, of course. And for 2 hours, if you're racing in a team, you're doing it more because of the fun of doing things in a team than anything else. But no, I don't think that for these 2 hours there's going to be an advantage in any kind of way.
Okay.
What do
Do
you
you think
think?
there might? I think honestly, for those driving as part of a team, I think there may actually be a bit of a disadvantage because as you drive along, the track, you get used to it, weathered in, you get more familiar with the car and the track conditions and all of that. And I think that the drivers driving as part of a team, whenever they have a driver, switch out, you lose a little bit of that knowledge that you had. And so I'm curious to test that. I think we'll see a good test of that hypothesis with some drivers opting to go the whole distance themselves and some drivers opting to team up with others and do a group race.
Thing is, we have an eclectic mix here. We asked the drivers before how knowledgeable they were with R Factor 2, how knowledgeable they were with Indy GP, which is a different configuration than just oval, and there's everything. People who are racing almost for the first time with R Factor 2, people who have never raced in Indy GP and so on. So as this is such a complete mix, if we would have drivers that have been driving the Porsche GT3 on different Indy whatever all the time, then it would be that way. And Global Enduro has something like that. Wait, we're going green. And here we go. Seems like
Here
a good
we
start.
go. Krohn did very well in qualifying, starting on the pole, and then Linus Lundvall also. They were trading places on the leaderboard in qualifying a lot. So I'm very excited to see them. There they are, neck and neck, coming around the first few corners. Oh, a bit of a touch.
Yeah, well, that doesn't disturb. Piers went a little bit too far. Whoa, and I know this. On the first lap, they're gonna go out on this curve because tires, brakes, and everything comes together.
Linus has not had the best start. He's dropped back into 4th place after that touch. Pierce Krohn taking advantage of that and getting an early lead here. Of course, it is a long race to go, but he's starting off with a strong first lap. Tom Chassin is now in 2nd place. I believe I'm pronouncing that name correctly. He's got his lights on for perhaps a bit of intimidation. And it is shaping up to be an exciting one. I'm optimistic about this race. I think we're going to see some good racing.
And we saw that the cars get a little squirrely there. That's the bump between oval and the GP track, and it looks worse than it is. I've driven this, of course, trying to learn for this comment, and you notice the bump, but it's nothing to write home.
Adam Smith, I see a little bit of front end damage on his car. It looks like he might have had a bit of a touch there in the start. He is running in 3rd, and it looks like he might be trying to make a move on Tom Chassin in 2nd.
Well, I mean, it's GT racing. A little bit of kissing here and there is absolutely normal.
Absolutely, we're at a NASCAR track. Rubbin's racing.
trying to make good the positions that he's lost. He's getting near to
Yes, he is coming down to this corner. It looks like he's gaining some ground on Adam Smith there in third. Pierce Crone still out in front, but slightly less dominance than he had coming around the first lap as we start to settle into our pace here for this race. I'd like to give a shout out to Ed Bailey. He's currently running in 12th. He's the organizer of this event, and we love the work he does.
This is a difficult track because it's got a lot of 90-degree curves and a couple of straights and a couple of, let's call them straights, but the part where it's oval. But of course, the straights are so straight that, a little bit of fun. The straights are so straight that everyone is fast there. So it's quite difficult to get advantage over the other drivers.
Our top four have not changed yet. Top five even. Flying in a little bit under the radar, we have Alberto Lazzarini in 5th place in the number 55 car. And he is trucking along. They've formed a bit of a train there. And it looks like, actually, Tom Chasson is getting really, really close to Pierce Crone for the lead. We'll have to see if he makes a move this lap. But at this pace, it looks like he might be catching up to challenge Pierce Crone for that first place.
Oh, Massimiliano Ferrari has a penalty. I don't see for what, but maybe as it seems to be an automatic penalty, may have very well been track limits?
It may be. I didn't see it. Massimiliano Ferrari is currently in 13th and last place right now, so I don't think that'll affect the outcome of the race terribly. But it is unfortunately a penalty of some variety. I'm not quite sure as to the origin of it. I'm seeing a lot of cars, a lot more than I typically see with Global Enduro. A lot of cars that have picked up some damage in these first few laps. That'll be interesting to see the teams as they come in for their pit stops, if they pit to repair any damage they may have, or if they try to live with it and take that gamble. The solo drivers, I'm less concerned about because I think they're going to just run their race, but it'll be interesting to see, where the driver swaps are. If someone's getting into a damaged car and they elect not to repair it, right? That's something new you've got to learn. You've got to learn all the unique quirks of the damaged car.
And what strategy they're going to run? When are they going to do the driver swap and all that? Yeah. The system, by the way, is set up so that the time goes faster. So I expect to see some night driving too, which on Indianapolis GP would scare the heck out of me.
Absolutely. There's very few lights around the track. There's, I would wager, several on the oval itself, but on this infield course, it's going to be pretty dark. We'll just have the headlights. Tom Chasson right up on the back bumper of Pierce Crone coming into the final corner of this lap. It's an exciting race here. Pierce Crone getting really, really close to that outside wall.
But that's how you drive it. That's you have a lot of place. Use it all to get an advantage.
Tire track. one's an awkward one. They built that curve whenever they built the road course, and it was just kind of, all right, we're not on the oval now. And so it's a bit of a awkward one.
Oh, and that one is so typical.
It's a bit of a pack generating this first 5 here. It looks like Linus Lundvall's just looking up the inside of Adam Smith as we come around onto the oval, and then for another one of these 90-degree corners. Looks like he might have braked a little early there to make a move. He was definitely looking at it, and he's continuing just to take slightly alternate lines. If you take the exact same line as the guy in front of you, you're never going to get around it. You have to try something different. Here we go. They're all splitting up, taking their different strategies. It looks like Adam Smith maybe looking on the inside there. Nope.
And they're all quite near to each other.
They are, absolutely. The gap to first through fifth is all within a half second, but the gap to sixth is 3 seconds.
I've set up the...
Oh, Alberto Lazzarini, he's making a pass. Alberto Lazzarini has moved into 4th place. Adam Smith is now in 5th. Beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. But Adam Smith isn't gone yet. He's right on his tail, and he's proven he's got pace. But it looks like for now, Lazzarini has made the pass.
What you see on the display now is the difference of time of the drivers to each other. So the one to the next. So that you can see how near they are. Like 0.3 of a second is nothing. Is one blink of an eye, you get one corner badly, and the other is eating you up. Tom Chasing was looking on the inside to see if he maybe had a place there, but he didn't. Driving very close. Just
Absolutely.
looking what Pierce Crone is doing.
I think there's a bit of, yeah, and I think there's a bit of intimidation going on, trying to make Pierce Crone make a mistake. Ooh, we got Linus.
Yes, he's gonna take it.
Linus moved up to second place.
Okay,
Yeah, he's gonna get.
I was gonna say Tom Chasing has the inside, but no, he could not use it. Linus went too far.
Tom Chasing, another little mistake there, runs a little bit too wide on the outside, and loses 3rd as well. So Tom Chasing has shuffled down to 4th from 2nd, with Linus Lundvall in 2nd now, and Alberto Lazzarini in 3rd. Alberto Lazzarini. Oh, go ahead. Okay. Lazzarini, he started pretty high up after qualifying, had that terrible first lap where he just got shuffled back into 5th, just in traffic, and he's been working his way back up. It's exciting to see.
That's his view. You can see the fight of Crone and Linus very well.
Absolutely. And Lazzarini's looking at that and just thinking, okay, take each other out, take each other out, take each other out.
Oh, yes. That's all. At least, when 2 in front of you are fighting, they are losing time. And that's good. Absolutely. Because then you can come nearer, which is what Lazzarini is doing. he was a 6/10 of a second away. Now he's 4/10 of a second. He's 3/10 of a second. So he's moving nearer and nearer. But of course, the one thing is getting near, and the other is overtaking.
There's nothing worse to the guy behind than for the guy in front to have totally clean air.
And there's nothing worse when you're near to the two that are fighting, trying to overtake one of them, because of course, as they are fighting, they are trying they are all over the place, so to speak, and finding a gap there is going to be tough. And here we have the first group of fighters.
So I am so happy about this race and how it's turning out so far, because we've got a lot of close competition. Everybody is very, very near to each other here at the top, which is exciting to see. Oftentimes you'll see a pack, and then you'll see one or two clear winners coming out in front. But here, the pack is the front, and it's very, very interesting. Up in 4th and 5th place, looking at Adam Smith. He had a little bit of contact with Tom Chasing going into one of those 90-degree corners at the end of the lap. There was a bit of a hit there. It'll be interesting to see if they picked up any damage that could slow both of those cars down. We're definitely seeing them, after that hit, drop back just a little bit from our top three. But they're close to each other. They're still fighting, and perhaps there's a little bit of rivalry brewing there.
By the way, as far as I remember, the car is getting squirrely here. As far as I remember, both of the Porsche GT3 that is being used for this race, as well as the Indy track, and are both already on the newest technology, which is called PDR by Studio 397. So the graphics are better than in the older cars and tracks, and that's why I gotta say it looks very good.
Absolutely. We had a bit of a challenge from Linus Lundvall, challenging Pierce Cronin. He is right on his tail right now. But they got alongside each other a little bit. Ooh, Linus Lundvall bumping into the back of Pierce Cronin. Definitely letting him know that he's there, yeah. Not the first time, won't be the last. It's also going to be interesting. They're coming up on Ferrari, not the car, but the man. And we're reaching a little bit of lap traffic right now. So that will be interesting to see how it shakes up this top five who have been very close since the start of the race. Certainly. Coming around that corner, everyone's pushing the limit of the grip on this car.
Pierce went a little bit out, but I think so did Linus. Yeah, there. Okay. Someone got a penalty.
Mancuso is currently in 7th position, and he is about 10 seconds behind this top 5 group here. So close here.
It's very difficult to make plays because you don't know where to go.
And Ferrari is not obliged to get around, you know, so immediately, but he definitely didn't need to let him by, and he's done that. But everybody's bunched up, and it looks like the beneficiary there is Pedro Cruz Gomez, who has gotten right up behind them. He was seconds back before, but now this is a top 6 battle. This is no longer a top 5 battle. This is a top 6. Pedro has entered the fight.
And let's not forget, our Factor 2, of course, also simulates the wind, what you call it, aerodynamics. And of course, if you're behind a couple of cars, you can drive easily. Yeah, Venus has taken over. Pierce is not letting him do that.
It's some rough racing there. I see some banged up cars. This is some of you guys may be British and it may be an oval, but it's not banger racing.
Oh! No.
Whoa!
They're getting
Lazzarini.
too nervous and too close to each other.
Yeah, Alberto Lazzarini giving Linus Lundvall a bit of a touch there. Pierce Krone holding on to second. Lundvall got just kind of a push from that one. Benefited a little bit, but they're all picking up damage that's going to slow them down over the rest of this race. We've got 2 hours here, folks. Man, Adam Smith in all of that dropped down to 6th, but is looking like he might get that back. He's right alongside Pedro Gomez. Looks like no, Pedro Gomez is going to take 5th place. A lot of shuffling around going here. Let's see. Tom Prangley and Ed Bailey also duking it out a little bit further back as well. Pierce Krone. What happened to Pierce Krone?
I don't know. He's on 6th now.
He's in the
retired.
garage. He's retired. I didn't see what happened.
Maybe the action that we saw resulted in his car getting broken at some place.
I think he might have gotten the dreaded meatball flag and had to come in.
Yeah, well, I suppose you didn't get the flag. I'm not sure if our Factor 2 has that flag, but it may have been that his car was completely, I don't know, had an issue. Maybe
we'll have to ask him and get back to you guys. Certainly, I'll reach out to him, and Serta, you can take a look. Our new leader is Linus Lundvall.
And Lazzarini, anyway, not far behind. But now that the 5-driver group is getting a little bit longer, they're not so near to each other anymore.
Absolutely, and he's got a way to go, but he's definitely He's definitely still far behind from the main group here. Alberto Lazzarini coming in at second place. I'm looking at the back of his car, and it does not look good. All of that bumping going on up front. It's kind of terrifying to be in that situation if you're going to, if you're going to go race up at the front. It's a bit of a bloodbath, and man, it can be tough.
Oh, yellow in sector 1.
Yellow in sector 1.
But now it's over.
I think it may have been, I saw Mancuso and Salas, they're not near each other, they're 10th and 11th, they're not like physically near each other. But I looked at both of them and they were both coming slowly out of corners, so it might have been one of the two of them, but they were in sector 1 at the time. So that would be my theory, but we did not see that or catch it on the cameras. I've heard back from Pierce Crone as to his looks like now DNF. His PC overheated, so we had the sim racing equivalent of a mechanical fault right at that race, but
the sim racing equivalent of your motor getting too hot.
Absolutely, yeah. So that is unfortunate because it was a great battle shaping up. Definitely very physical, which certainly suits some drivers and doesn't suit others. And I've driven on track with Pierce Crone, and he's definitely not a fan of I don't want to say dirty, but certainly like very physical racing. GT
sport is a contact sport.
It absolutely is a contact sport, but at the same time, there's at this point an hour and 35 left, and you want to make sure your car can make it to the end.
That's of course one of the differences between sim racers and especially sim racers like you, me, or these guys here, and pro sim racers or real life racers. You don't go around attacking when you still have an hour and a half to go.
Yeah, certainly. Adam Smith is challenging Pedro Cruz Gomez for 4th place here, and it's shaping up to be a pretty decent battle. Our top 5, top 6 as it was before Pierce unfortunately had to retire. They're starting to spread out a little bit more, but Adam Smith is still, and he's got quite the run. On Pedro Cruz, and it looks like that is going to be for position. Yep, Adam Smith takes 4th place in this race.
But he loses it on that curve. That's a difficult one.
Gets it back though.
Thing is, with these cars, you normally should be braking at around the 300-yard marker, but there is no 300-yard marker there. There is the 400 and there's the 200, and there where the 300 would be, there's just empty space. So sometimes when you are not, for example, in this case, you're in the middle of a fight, you don't see it. You don't see that the marker is not there, and then you go to a hospital.
Looks like Adam Smith is going to solidify his 4th place. Pedro Cruz Gomez is going to try to prove me wrong here, but it's looking like it's starting to become sunset here, which is a very pretty sunset in R Factor 2, but I'm starting to see headlights come on. So it's about ready. We're about ready for night racing. Track's going to cool down a little bit. We'll have less grip. Our lap times won't quite be what they were in the beginning, but the drivers will have to adjust, and we're going to be coming fairly shortly, because we are, as of now, 38 minutes into the race, and we're going to be coming up on our first round of pit stops here pretty soon.
And let's hope these guys didn't break their headlights in all these fights, because then they're in for a surprise.
we're getting to the point. Go ahead.
No, Linus took the corner a little bit too heavy. He's cutting the corners a little bit too strongly, and that, at the end of the day, is making him lose time.
Yeah, we had that last lap, and that's kind of my least favorite lap, and that's the lap where you're driving around and you have the sun in your eyes. So it looks like all the drivers have made it around that lap a-okay, and it's going to start getting darker and darker, but we're going to start seeing some changing conditions here, and that might shuffle things around. Pedro Gomez he's behind Adam Smith still, but he's hanging on. He's hanging on. He's not dropping back any further than he was. Let's see. It looks like we're pretty spread out all throughout.
Seconds away.
Yeah, I did say that they are getting closer and closer. Lazzarini maybe, as the track cools down, he may be performing a little bit better than Lundvall is in this transitionary period into the dark. Absolutely.
It's getting darker and darker and darker.
Yep. Luckily for these drivers, it looks like they have retained their headlights and aren't going to need to pit before it gets too dark to see. We're getting close to that moment right now as we hit, well, we're 30 seconds away from it, but as we hit our 30-minute mark, 30 minutes into this 2-hour race. And night racing is interesting because you've got, in the daytime, all your visual markers and cues that you had, and in the nighttime that has to change. We've got a bit of a corner cut from Linus Lundvall there. I don't think that'll be enough.
He's been doing that all the time, and I don't know if that is so good for his timing and for his concentration. Whoa! That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, going
timing, that's gonna hurt on the force feedback, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, they make those sausage curbs not fun for a reason.
and believe me, I felt those sausages, and they are really not.
And if you go over them too hard, they can kind of damage your suspension a little bit. So Linus Lundvall may be pushing as hard as he can, using all of the space, but that might hurt him if he keeps taking those sausage curbs as hard as he is, and dipping his toes into the grass where he is. That might hurt him in the long run, and he may be better off just trying to ease up a little bit and just go for smooth entrances and exits.
And our Factor 2 is a sim that really takes care of your suspension, so if you go too hard over the sausages, the car is going to suffer.
It absolutely is. So you've got to be very, very careful. Ooh! Speaking of being careful, or the lack thereof, Linus Lundvall scraping the wall a little bit there. I think what's going on is Alberto Lazzarini is putting the pressure on. Linus Lundvall has found himself in first place after Pierce Brown left, and he had some good luck combined with some stellar driving, and he's trying to hold on to that. He might be worrying about it just a little bit too much. Alberto Lazzarini just weighing on his mind pretty heavily.
Alberto Lazzarini taking the corners much better. Yeah. taking the corners much better. And they're coming up on a back.
Yes, I believe that is Mr. Massimiliano Ferrari in the 55 GT3 car. And that could very well be interesting for our battle for the lead here, as Linus tries to get around and Alberto Lazzarini tries to also get around, but get around Linus as well.
They're coming up. Yeah, he's taking the wide line so that he doesn't disturb the race. On the other hand, they were coming up on the short part of the oval. This configuration has a long-ish part of the oval and a short-ish part of the oval.
Starting in straight, but backwards compared to how they race it on the oval configuration in IndyCar and NASCAR.
And it's very interesting when Linus concentrates and he doesn't take the corners so hard, he gets away from Alberto Lazzarini.
Absolutely. But,
like now he's already a second away.
Yeah.
And you can see it also on your monitors, is that the group that we have, the Fiverr group and any other groups, are now quite well spread with a lot of gaps in between.
Absolutely. There is, as it was previously, there was like 4, 3, 2 seconds between the top 5 in our first few laps. And that gap is now spread out to 12 seconds between first and 5th place. So your top 5, since we're talking about them, is Linus Lundvall in first, Lazzarini close behind in second, Tom Chassing in third, Adam Smith in fourth, and Pedro Cruz Gomez in 5th. Honorable mention, Ed Bailey has been trucking along in 6th place now. He started around the 11th, 10th position after the first lap, and he's slowly been inching his way up there on raw pace alone, so that's always good to see.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him on that far back, because Ed is a very, very good driver in any sim that you put him. And his two favorites are R Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa Competizione, and there... Oh, Adam Smith got a penalty.
Penalty, I'm going to assume that that is for track limits, because we've seen a lot of people run wide onto the infield straight, and he got his penalty right after that. So I would assume that was just one too many warnings for track limits violations there. And so we're not privy to what penalty that is or what he's going to have to serve. It may be a stop-go, it may be a drive-through, but it will be interesting to see him serve that. Currently, he has a lead on 4th place of Adam Smith. I'm sorry, he has a lead of 5th place on Pedro Cruz Gomez, but not by much. So it looks like Pedro Cruz Gomez is going to be moving up into 4th. Did I get that right? Cool.
And it's interesting. There have been some updates on the overlay from R Factor 2. One thing that it shows you, he was very neat. One thing that it shows you, interestingly enough, when it shows you the speed, it shows you how much faster or slower the guy behind is. And on the oval parts, Pedro is definitely faster. So when there's a straight line, so to speak, Pedro is faster, and now he's very, very near. And on night driving, you just see the lights. and the nearer they come, the worse it is for you.
Sweet. And it looks like the gap between Lazzarini and Lundvall, Lundvall in first, Lazzarini in second. Looks like that's growing a little bit. We're at 1.4 seconds now.
Okay. Adam Smith is going into pit.
Yes, they'll be serving that penalty. He may also do a tire change, and Adam Smith is.
So if he's serving a penalty, he's not doing a pit stop because
That's
you can't
true.
do both. Looks very much as if he's. I don't know which is his pit, but it looks as if he's serving a drive-through. Yep, he got a drive-through. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Absolutely, and it looks like Adam Smith is going to drop back down into 6th place, but Ed Bailey is in 5th. He takes advantage of that. But Adam Smith is right behind Ed Bailey. So that might, keyword on might, that might shape up into an interesting battle to watch. But we'll have to keep you posted. Speaking of interesting battles to watch, Lazzarini is getting a little bit closer to Linus Lundvall in our battle for first here. And he'll get closer, and then he'll make just a little bit of a mistake. And Linus Lundvall, who seems to have found his groove in the night. Oh! Speaking of grooves, Tom Chassing is off the groove and off the track. We had a yellow in Sector 3. Yes, that was Tom Chassing. Yeah, he had an off, and unfortunately is now out of the, or in the garage at least. He may be off the track permanently.
Well, he's shown as DNF in the timing, so I expect that he is
Possibly. I'll reach out.
I remember the old, I think it was the old R Factor 2 saying that they were leaving your car in the garage, you could come back at any time. That was the old version. Now they have put that away because normally when you DNF in the middle, or you bring your car into the garage in the middle of a race, you're not coming back. But it had to do with time in endurance. It has always been used internationally for endurance races. So that's where it came from.
Oh, unfortunately, it looks like Tom accidentally blew the engine when he downshifted too far too soon.
Ouch,
Yep.
you don't want to do that.
No, that's not a fun one. But yeah, it looks like he is out of the race. His Porsche GT3 Cup car is in the garage for good.
I've had that in Assetto Corsa a couple of times. Luckily, never on R Factor 2.
Keep my downshift protection on at all times in Assetto Corsa because I know I would do that.
I tried to. I think I have the setting on factory. Like if the car has a blip, then it's gonna blip. But if it doesn't, I may ruin the car.
Yeah, I've got all my settings to factory as well, but you'd be surprised how many mods leave downshift protection on for cars that wouldn't otherwise have it, and then they just don't go and change it. But Pedro Gomez, he's been sort of the big... Pedro and Ed both, they're running 3rd and 4th right now. They've big beneficiaries of other people's mistakes and have just had consistent pace throughout, and have really, really benefited. Ed Bailey was like second or third to last after the first couple of laps, and he's in fourth right now. Pedro also, he was mid-pack at best at the beginning of it, and just with consistent driving, entrances and exits, corner apexes on time, where they should be, he's moved up to third, and it's you love to see it. You love to see it.
I mean, what does and is he? No, that's a back marker, exactly. I wasn't sure if he was overtaking somebody or not. Not really.
No, that is Miguel Salas, who is in 10th place right now in the number 177 car, and he is now down a lap.
Interestingly enough, we have a lot of people in the 177. So we may not want to go by the numbers.
Yeah, fair
of the
enough.
cars.
Fair enough. Yes, they are. For anybody unfamiliar, the numbers are assigned based on the skin that you have chosen, the livery that you've chosen, and so some of the cars have the same number on the side because lots of drivers elected to go with the default livery, and we're not terribly concerned about that because we have their names. But yeah, that's a fair point because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 number 177 cars. So that is a very, very fair point, Soda.
And the thing is, for these race, the drivers, or I think for the R Factor 2 races, the drivers cannot use own liveries as the server. I don't think it's just this server. A server from R Factor 2 in general has issues with skins for whatever reason.
Yeah, I've definitely had races where I had issues with skins myself. Interestingly, a monster truck race had an issue with a skin in R Factor 2.
That was R Factor, right? R Factor 2?
Yeah, that was R Factor 2. I had a monster truck race. I won that race.
Well, of course, you had no skin, you were faster.
Yeah, there you go. Weight savings. We have a yellow in Sector 3. It looks like Salas coming out of the final corner going onto the main straight. It looks like he might have just lost it a little bit. Oh, Linus Lundvall, a penalty, track limits. That is our leader.
Yeah, but it was to be expected. He was always very aggressive on the...
It was, absolutely, but Lazzarini, who's only 2.5 seconds behind, which is a larger gap than we had before, he is definitely going to be happy about that news, that Linus is now going to, believe, have to come in to serve that penalty.
And we're seeing here Tom Franklin, who is 2 seconds away from Ed, which is quite near. He was further away.
Yeah, he was the one who came in originally for track limits, and he came out right behind Ed Bailey. It took him a little bit longer to find his pace, and so he dropped back a little bit. But now he's gotten closer to Mr. Bailey, and it may shape up to be a bit of a challenge there. He's proven he has pace. Linus Lundvall is now in the pits. He's serving what appears to be a drive-through penalty. And so Lazzarini is your new leader. Alberto Lazzarini in first place. And Pedro Cruz Gomez is also passed Linus Lundvall after Linus served that drive-through penalty. And so it is Alberto Lazzarini, Pedro Cruz Gomez, who is absolutely killing it on the on the progress. Last to first challenge, maybe? And then we've got Adam Smith, who is well, he's much further behind, but we've got a pretty close top three.
Yeah, the fight at the moment is Linus against Pedro, and truth to be told, I don't mean him any wrong, but I think Linus is eating up the gap between him and Pedro.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been abusing those track limits for a reason, and that's to go faster.
True,
and
but
so
if he doesn't take care, he's gonna get another drive-through.
If he doesn't take care, I've been watching this lap, and he's been doing a bit better at it. He's dipped a couple of wheels off into the grass, but he's kept the majority of the car on the road throughout, which is good. But yes, if he continues being as liberal with the track limits as he has been, he is going to find himself with another drive-through or perhaps a stop-go, which would be really devastating unless you're Adam Smith, and then you're going to absolutely love that. Adam Smith, of course, in 4th place behind Linus Lundvall. Lazzarini now, Pedro is 15 seconds behind Lazzarini, so it looks like Lazzarini is coming out as a pretty clear favorite for this. But
Who would have said,
I say that, but we still have an hour and 10 minutes left to go.
Yeah, we've seen a lot in the last 15 minutes, so hey, let's see.
Absolutely, we've seen last to first, we've seen first to last, and
yeah,
so
we've seen Piers having to DNF because his PC got too hot. We've seen who was it again? Tom having to DNF because the motor of his car went too, you could say hot when he went too fast down the gears. So.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you send a piston through the hood, and that's okay.
Yeah, I've had that in real life a couple of times. It's not okay because you okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
On the other hand, it's something that won't ever happen with a car that I have because it's an electrical one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, find the piston, I dare you.
Exactly.
Yes, I have the opposite of an electric car.
V12? Are you driving a V12?
No, but it's a 5.0 V8 that gets like 13 miles to the gallon. Good old Ford small block 302.
So you always have a tank of penalty for Ed.
Yep, penalty for Ed, absolutely. And that looks to be that same corner where everybody's been getting their track limits violations. So if you're Tom Prangley and you're getting around a back marker to try to chase down Ed Bailey, but you're only about a second away from him, you're feeling good right now. But I do feel quite sad for Ed Bailey because he had just popped into the top 5 and was hanging out there. We have a yellow in Sector 2. Gio Nuvoli is off. He is over a minute behind first place, but he is still on the lead lap. It looks like he's gotten going again now, which is wonderful. If you are following along with us, that is, what, 5 yellows now? Am I following along with us? But we've had a few yellows, but no major incidents.
Well, blowing up your motor, I would say, is a major incident. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but that wasn't like, a multi-car pileup.
True that.
It was one car. He was able to get off the road fairly quickly.
Linus, I thought that Linus would be Pedro quite fast, and look, he is keeping around the second behind, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. So it seems that either Pedro has a good rhythm, or Linus has decided that cutting corners is not the right way to go, and he wants to avoid the next penalty.
It may also be a bit of both, and it may be strategic. I think that Linus might know that he has the pace if he is a little bit, liberal and pushes with those limits. And I think he knows how much time there is left, and also I think he knows that if he just sticks behind Pedro, follows him, he'll have a good shot at second place. I think at this point they're both over 15 seconds. Linus is now behind Alberto Lazzarini in first, and so he might be going, all right, maybe I won't push for the lead anymore, and maybe I'll just shoot for second place and hang out behind Pedro and wait to make my move.
In the meantime, Ed has to serve his drive-through and drops down from 6 to 9.
Actually, he's not serving a drive-through. He is getting,
Do that.
yeah, he's pitting in. It looks like he's getting front tires changed. So we're starting to see our first round of pit stops, and I think it might be the only round of pit stops that we see, considering that we're about halfway through the race now.
Let's see how that is going to change Ed's pace, because of course new tires are better, and the others are on 1 hour old tires, which makes a difference.
Absolutely. Because Ed Bailey has pitted in, he is now down to 9th place from 5th where he was, and he will also have that penalty to serve, so he'll probably have to come in again.
I'm not sure, maybe it was a slow down penalty, but no, it didn't look as if Ed was slowing down, right?
It didn't look to me like it was. But we shall see. We'll find out, and we may ask him towards the end of the race or after.
I'm thinking now, because when you get a drive-through, you have to serve it within the 3 laps after you get notice of them, and I think that he did not do that.
Well, I don't think he's been around 3 laps yet since that penalty. I think that he may have had one more time around, or he may have come in, because he got it on the backstretch, and then I think that right after he came into the pits. And so he may not have gone around 3 times yet.
And while we're talking, Linus is eating up the gap between Pedro and him. He's already under a second, and steadily under a second. So that's gonna take a while until he's near enough, but
He's staying in the track limits now on that corner that was the final straw last time around for the drive-through. So it looks like he's driving a bit more conservatively, and it's working out well for him because he's getting closer and closer and closer to Pedro.
Yeah, that's interesting. Either Pedro is going slower, maybe his tires are going off, or Linus is driving now more aggressively. As remember that a couple of minutes ago, I was surprised that Linus had not overtaken Pedro, and he was about 1.2 seconds away from Pedro. So he's made good 0.6 seconds. That's a lot.
Absolutely. Lazzarini still trucking away in first place. He's a good solid 13 seconds ahead of Pedro and Linus. And it looks like he's coming up on a back marker, but at this point he's used to that. So the I don't know honestly if I would call it a battle at this point with Linus and Pedro, because it looks to be pretty consistent. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see if he starts to make a move or start looking. But it looks like he's just kind of following.
No, he's not. I mean, he was 1.2, like, I don't know, what was it, 5 minutes ago? And now he's 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.4, all in between. So it's not yet a battle. I agree with you, but he is making a move. Or maybe Pedro did some big error that we did not see because we were looking at another driver. But
Mr. Alessandro Mancuso is in the pits. He's in 8th place at the moment, but he has made his pit stop. So it looks like we've had 2 pit stops, Ed Bailey and Mancuso, who will be on new tires and new fuel, all that jazz.
We're talking about Ed Bailey with his new tires. He is now near Miguel Salas, and that is a battle.
Yes, definitely.
And a battle where Miguel is not going to win because he's got an hour-old tire.
Yep. And it looks like Ed Bailey may be poised to make his move here on the straight.
That's yeah, he is.
I think so. He's going to get the draft, and my wager is that he's going to go for something in the braking zone here.
No, I think he's going to think better.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Ed is quite a patient driver. He knows he's faster, but he knows that if he pushes his luck and tries to dive bomb, he's only going to lose.
Indeed, there is a lot of race to run left still. We're halfway through, but we've also got halfway to go.
And Linus has now. Oh wait, Pedro yeah.
Pedro's come into the pits. Okay. Yeah,
I was a little bit surprised that Pedro was losing so much time, but yeah, okay, he's in pit. Let's go back to the day. And by the way, now it's only 1 hour left of race.
Absolutely. Shane White has largely flown in under the radar of our commentary of this race, but he is also in the pits as well. And it looks like he's about to come out of there. And he will be coming out into, I'm going to guess, he's going to come out into 7th position. Yes, he's coming out into 7th position there. Oh, Lazzarini is off. Lazzarini is way off. He had a big spin there. He's on 1 hour old tires. He has not come in yet. But we got a lap down car up in front of him, so that was not a pass for position. But Linus Lundvall is now right behind him. Lazzarini is coming into the pits. That is a smart move, especially once you've realized that, oh no, my tires are gone. And so, that's going to be interesting.
Another driver we've not been talking much about because he's not been in any kind of battle or anything like that.
Absolutely. It looks like we've got who's that coming out of the pits? Coming out of the pits. Yes, we just had a driver who came out of the pits.
Before number 7, Shane White.
Shane White, yes. Well, no, we had a driver who just came out of the pits.
Okay, then I don't know.
I'll drop it. Yeah, Linus Lundvall, he is still out. He is in 1st place, but he has not come into the pit yet. Adam Smith is your new guy in 2nd, also not having pit. Frankly, most of our leaders here are those who have not yet pitted. They're going to pit soon, if not for tires, then certainly for fuel.
And Linus, I think, is... Yeah, Linus is going
Lazzarini pitted, and he is now out of the pits. He was our previous leader. He is coming out into 5th place. Pedro just barely takes 4th, so that'll be a battle. I don't think it'll be terribly hard won, but I think Lazzarini has the pace. I think he's going to get that done, but we'll have to see if Pedro can fend him off. They are racing. Pedro doesn't have to let him by.
Absolutely. On the other hand, I know Pedro already was in pits, so he's
Linus is in pits. And Adam Smith has also come into pit as well.
Yeah, around 1 hour would be what I was expecting in a 2-hour race.
So Adam Smith is in the pits, Linus Lundvall is in the pits, Tom Prangley now also in the pits. Pedro Cruz Gomez is nearing the start-finish straight, so he will be coming along to pass all of them. And just behind him, still behind him, Alberto Lazzarini.
Pedro is going to be first.
Pedro is going to be first quite.
Linus is coming out of pits.
Ooh, Linus is... Oh, boy! Oh, boy! Linus just barely maintains the lead. He does maintain the lead after the pits. I neglected to note, has Pedro pitted yet?
Yes.
Pedro has pitted yet. Okay, these are your leaders.
He's made one stop.
All right, so your leaders are Linus Lundvall in first, Pedro Cruz Gomez in second, Alberto Lazzarini in third. Just for the added bonus of it, 20 some odd seconds behind. Adam Smith in fourth, and Tom Prangley in fifth. Tom Prangley now is in the pits, but Adam Smith, I believe, has made his pit stop. But here we are. We're back to having a pretty close race. Linus Lundvall in first. Pedro is 1.6 seconds behind, but that's about to get really, really shortened as they come into this braking zone and now leave it. And then Lazzarini also right on the tail of Pedro Cruz Gomez. I'm almost close, or I'm almost exact with Pedro Cruz Gomez in my prediction of last to first, but it's been second to last, second to first so far in this race, and I'm optimistic. As an unbiased commentator, I'm not going to say I'm rooting for him, but I am definitely interested to see where he ends up.
Almost all drivers were already in pits, other than Roberto Lorenzetti. And by the way, if you hear, Lazzarini got a penalty.
That dreaded corner out onto the infield straight. Oh man.
It's a chicane that you almost don't see as a chicane because it's only a couple of sausages. What could go wrong?
And there's no sausages on the outside, and there's a lot of runoff. You feel like you can use all that runoff, but you cannot. That white line is a very important white line, and you gotta respect it. And so, yeah, Lazzarini with a penalty. It looks like he might have gotten no, it's a drive-through or a stop and go. Okay, he's coming in. I believe that is his first track limits penalty, and so it's probably going to just be a drive-through. But he is going to have to serve that, and Pedro Cruz Gomez lives to fight another day.
And Linus has made the best lap time of the race.
Absolutely, and I would wager that Pedro Gomez has the second best lap time of the race. Because actually, yeah, his best time on my timing screen is actually faster than Linus's. So I think that it popped up for the stream that Linus's was the fastest, but Immediately behind him, literally 1 second behind him, Pedro Cruz Gomez beat that time. But just to get a feel for how close this top two battle has become, it is 1:25.400 was Linus's time. And Pedro's time, immediately after that, on this same lap, 1:25.364.
That's nothing. That's less than a blink.
Absolutely. That is within a couple tenths of a second. That's insane. And he's holding on to it. Pedro is actually getting a little bit closer. I'm excited to see what the lap times are going to be now. We're about to get them. 1:25.577 for Linus, 1:25.100 for Pedro. So if he keeps this up, yeah, and that was absolutely. It was Pedro last time, but we're seeing it on the stream now. This is exciting to see. Pedro has absolutely found a groove, stuck to it, raced cleanly, has not gotten any penalties, and he has benefited from it immensely.
And Linus has now a back marker that could reduce his lead time.
Absolutely, and while they catch up to that, here's why. Oh, yellow in sector 3. Yellow in sector 3. It looks like it's been. Oh, Tom Prangley. Tom Prangley is off. He is off and he is slow. He is in. There's a bit of a close. I'm not going to call it a battle just yet, but actually, I think you could call it a battle.
Mingling, so to speak. I mean, not that he does want to, but he's mingling in the fight between Linus and Pedro. And Pedro now lost half a second because of that.
Yeah, that's expected. But down here in the battle for, it looks like 7th now, that Tom Prangley just lost out on with his off. It's a pretty close group of folks. We've got Shane White in 7th, desperately trying to hold on. Actually, no, Gio Nivoli in 6th. He's pretty close. Shane White in 7th, chasing that guy. Ed Bailey chasing that guy in 8th. And then Tom Prangley there, who was much further up in that battle, who is now down into 9th. But Pedro up at the lead, still holding on to 2nd place, still pushing, trying to reach Linus Lundvall.
Trying to re-reach him, so to speak.
Trying to re-reach him, yes. Alberto Lazzarini, who was our longtime leader and way out in front before receiving that drive-through penalty. He is now 20 seconds, over 20 seconds behind 2nd place of Pedro Cruz Gomez. He's still in 3rd place, so that's still a podium for him. But Adam Smith is only 2.8 seconds behind Lazzarini and is hungry for a podium. But this is shaping up. It's been a very exciting race so far, and I think it's going to continue to be. We hope that you guys stick with us. Racing through the night. We're at this point, I think, past midnight and starting to get into the early hours. So we should see daylight start to come through shortly. And when we do, we'll start to see the track conditions warm up, and the track's been rubbered in pretty well. R Factor 2 does account for that. Things have cooled off our rubbered up track, but we've seen actually our fastest lap times. So our fastest lap times take place during the night. So that will be interesting to see if that changes whenever the track warms up in the daytime a little bit more.
On new tires. So
On new tires, right?
when daytime comes, I don't think that we're going to see them anymore as the tires are going to be. We're watching the three-pronged battle between Shane White and Bailey and Tom Prangley.
And Ed Bailey is within a half a second of Shane White here, right on his back bumper, and Tom Prangley also recovering from that off, a little bit further back behind them, but also quite close.
Let's hope this is his first and only time, or he's gonna see the pits once again because of the
Indeed. Ed Bailey nearly getting into the back of Shane White there, braking late to try to catch him, but brake just a little bit too late, so as to not reap the benefits of braking late, but he very nearly took out Shane.
In the front, just in case you're wondering, Pedro Howard lost his rhythm because he's now 1.6 seconds behind times.
He's still running faster times though than Linus's. His last lap was a 1 minute 25.649. Linus's was a 1 minute 25.837. And so it's close, but yeah, it looks like Pedro may be making a little bit more mistakes. We've got new lap times in, and yeah, the mistake we saw does reflect in that lap time. And Linus has now put in a faster lap than Pedro's last time around Indianapolis. Adam Smith, 2 seconds behind Lazzarini. Lazzarini is in third, but still 20 seconds behind Pedro. I'm curious to know if he'll be able to make that amount of time up. 20 seconds in 45 minutes is certainly doable, but Pedro has been doing well, and Linus Lundvall has been doing quite well as well. And so Lazzarini has got an uphill battle to get back to the glory that he was in the first half of this race. Shane White, Ed Bailey, yes.
They're not that far from each other. I mean, Ed is nearer to Shane than Tom is nearer to Ed, but still, it's only 7/10 of a second that Tom is away from Ed.
Absolutely, they're all very much in reach of each other, and it could go any number of ways. Miguel
Salas is coming nearer, but he's one lap away. So.
Yes.
He has to unlap himself first and then be able to.
Absolutely. One of the things that we have not seen through this race is a full course caution. We've seen sector cautions, but we've not seen a full course yellow be implemented at all. We haven't seen it need to be implemented at all. Because most of the crashes have been between one car, maybe two cars once, but it's been pretty clean overall. The main issues have been track limits violations and the occasional mechanical fault.
And different to other series, these races don't have a full course yellow in the middle of the race to bring the cars together.
So we may see, overall for all of it, as opposed to just sectors, green through the entire race. Which, if your strategy at any point in time relied on a full course caution catching you back up to others, you're probably not going to be very happy about that. However, most of the people here have, made their pit stops, just relied on one. Ooh, I'm looking at. Who is that in between Ed Bailey and Shane White? If it's a back marker, actually, no, that is Linus Lundvall. That is your leader. They are the back markers.
It's the other way around.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Linus Lundvall taking advantage of that. Pedro Gomez got a little bit stuck in the chicanes, but Linus Lundvall is back to having clean air, and Pedro has to sort through our two drivers battling it out for position there. And that's going to be interesting because they both have fairly equal right to the track. Global Enduro rules state that if you are blue flagged, you do not immediately have to get over. If you go around a lap and you are still blue flagged, then you do. But these drivers in front, they have every right to the track as 3 wide. 3 wide, trying to get around. No, but Ed Bailey's out in front. So Ed Bailey's move worked. It just kind of happened that it definitely benefited Ed Bailey. Shane White might not feel so hot about that, but he's got the opportunity to get that 7th place back. And then, you know, Pedro's just like, good Lord, get let me through.
That's what it is. Pedro was trying to find a place to just get out of this.
Absolutely, and you can see why, because he's down to 3.5 seconds. 3.5 seconds back behind Linus Lundvall, which, of course, Linus is going to be very happy about.
Yeah, he doesn't have to cut corners anymore.
Oh, man. Tom Prangley, kind of the beneficiary of the Shane White, Ed Bailey, and Pedro mess that we had, because he is challenging Shane White. He's got his rear quarter panel right alongside him. Ooh, and Shane White perhaps didn't see him there, or was just shutting the door on him. He does have the right to do that.
Lights on. Of course he saw him.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But he may not have known that he was right at his rear quarter panel. But he definitely, intentional or not, slammed the door on him.
And even if it was intentional, it's fair by the rules.
Absolutely. He did not have his nose halfway alongside Shane, and so Shane did have the right of way on the track there. The onus is on the passing car, the car attempting to pass, to ensure that you have the space.
And I always say, if you're the one behind the other driver, it's your responsibility not to crash.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't accept the, oh, but he did brake sooner than I was expecting. Well, then you were too near.
Yep.
If you know you're coming onto a brake zone and you're near, you have to expect the other to brake sooner than you would be expecting. Going away, like up and away in the beautiful room. But
Absolutely. If we're looking at the battle for first, it's becoming much less of a battle. Pedro has stopped, I think, pushing as hard for the win, and is just trying to bring it home nicely.
Thinking about it, but not thinking about it.
I say
very, very loudly about
it. Indeed. I say that about Pedro, but he is, his last lap was faster than Linus Lundvall, who's in first still. But it seems that he's been less consistent, because even though occasionally he'll put in a faster lap time, he'll also just make a mistake like he did there, and drop back just a little bit further on the following lap. And so Pedro, as we've been going on, has become just a little bit less consistent. Linus has been able to hold on to his consistency a little bit more. Mr. Lazzarini is benefiting from that, and he has gone from it was 22 seconds last time we checked in with him. Now he's only 19 seconds behind. At this rate, he might catch up to Pedro by the end of the race. I don't think he'll catch up to Linus, but I think he might catch up to Pedro if all continue right. We'll see. We'll see. But that is, of course, dependent on if they're all as consistent as they have been. Whether that be
Shane and Tom fighting it out. I think Tom is gonna.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is it a pass?
Yeah.
I think it is a pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, it was
Beautifully done.
And Shane is not giving up, but that was a nice pass. That was a very nice nice thing to see. Oh, and Tom going and Shane going wide.
I don't think that was wide enough. I think that last time the time that we've seen.
Shane going on the inside. Shane going. Oh,
Bit of a touch there, but he gets it. But will he keep it going around this corner?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he will.
And Tom losing a little bit of grip because he went a little bit off. And we're back to square one if you're Tom playing.
Oh, man. Wow. That was a fight. That was a good battle there.
Although Shane did force himself a little bit, that was really like a launch. He made it stick.
He sure did. Coming on to the main straight here. They're starting to settle into a groove. I think Tom Prengley's gonna. I think he's gonna push, but I think he's at the moment, whether he's trying to or not, he's gonna hang back until he can get a little bit closer to Shane.
Well, I think of course these kind of actions, you have to catch your breath, have to come back to yourself, have to come back to your groove, to your rhythm, and I think that's what's happening to Tom.
I would agree. Someone who has definitely found a rhythm is Adam Smith in 4th place. He was challenging Alberto Lazzarini. He's been bouncing around on my timing screen between 1.9 seconds behind Lazzarini and 2.5 seconds behind Lazzarini. And I can't tell if that's because Adam Smith is being inconsistent or Lazzarini is being inconsistent. Seeing as Lazzarini, everything is relative here, seeing as Lazzarini is back to 20 seconds behind Pedro Cruz Gomez, I withdraw my prediction that he will catch up to him by the end of the race. But I do think a more accurate or likely prediction would be that Adam Smith catches up to Lazzarini and starts challenging him for a podium finish. I think so, because Lazzarini's lost a little bit of the pace that he had compared to the top two, and Adam Smith has been pretty consistent so far.
Yeah,
and
but
so
their lap times are like sometimes Smith is a little bit faster, but they're like it evens out.
it does. I don't know. I just think that I think there's a bit more drive from Adam Smith to reach the podium, and Lazzarini is now probably resigned himself to the fact that, you know, 2nd place, 1st place are off the table, and I think he's into a defend 3rd place mode. And I think that mentality, if Adam Smith can capitalize it, I think that might prove to be very beneficial for Mr. Smith.
Pedro Gomez is almost 5 seconds away from Linus, so I don't think that is a fight. I may be wrong, but judging by the he is 2/10 of a second per lap faster, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
They are coming on to some lap down traffic, though. I see Roberto Lorenzetti and someone else who are going to be. Yeah. So our leaders here are going to have some folks in front of them they're going to have to get around. And so that may spread them out more. That may get them closer. Oh, Tom Prangley. Ah, no, our closest battle so far, which has been between Shane White and Tom Prangley. Unfortunately, Tom Prangley, that corner that's been getting everybody, has claimed another victim. And Tom Prangley now has a penalty. I'm going to assume, we'll see for sure, but I'm going to assume it is probably a drive-through penalty.
As there have been all the time. Oh well. Big transitorium, as the Latins say.
I don't know too many Latins, I must confess.
So that, I think Shakespeare said, "See how the mighty have fallen."
Ah, I see.
It is kind of.
Well, Tom Prangley comes in promptly to serve that penalty. Miguel Salas may have an opportunity to get around him. He's a lap down from Tom, and so we'll have to see if he can get himself back past Tom for perhaps not back on the lead lap, but perhaps on the same lap that Tom is on.
Lazzarini may have done an error, or Smith was just a lot faster, because he's now only 0.3 of a second behind Lazzarini.
Absolutely. Oh. This is a tremendous battle.
Now looking at the inside, but just looking, he's not going inside yet.
Not this corner. Maybe the next
Just letting
few.
him know, hello, I'm here, get nervous.
Absolutely. And we'll have to see if Lazzarini does. I pride myself on being pretty able to get inside a driver's head just by watching them. But Lazzarini, I have not been able to crack. I don't know if he's doing well. If he, because he was perfectly in the lead at the start, way ahead of everyone else. We got 30 minutes remaining. But I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out if he's feeling nervous, if he's feeling intimidated, or if he's just running his race and that's just been his pace. Just the pace of the car, and he's just pushing it to its limits. I don't know. Adam Smith, though. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the same that you were going to say.
Sure, Adam Smith is right on his back bumper, and he's looking. He's definitely looking to make a move. He's slowing down, making sure that he gets his entrances and exits on all of these corners here.
Now we come to the street.
Don't go wide. Don't go too wide. He doesn't.
Adam has a draft, so maybe he's going to move it.
Maybe.
No, he's not. He's just
Braking conservatively there, which is,
fighting his time.
yep. Getting a bit better lines, though, through here than Lazzarini is. Getting just a tad closer. We won't really know how it shapes up until we get out onto this semi-straight here, and it looks like he's maintained that closeness, so he has benefited.
And while we're looking at this, and we're going to keep looking at this, also because they're coming against the back marker, Ed is only 6/10 away from GM1. And that is also a fight worth seeing. I wish I could have a frame-in-frame way, and Adam is going on the inside of the door. He just was again not moving. We'll get a peek at Ed against Leo. Also because that's a fight for the podium.
I'm excited about. We've got some drivers from various parts of the world. I do believe, you know, Pierce Crone is a fellow countryman of mine. We've got Shane White, who mentioned that he's from New Zealand. Miguel Salas is from Peru, which is quite cool, I think. And then, you know, we've got some Italians in there, Ed Bailey, and I'm sure at least a couple others are. I think Tom Pranger is from the Great Britain area. But this is a very international race here, and I like seeing that.
Global Enduro
Great.
accepts everyone.
Absolutely. If we could switch over to Adam Smith, he is right on the back bumper of Lazzarini, like right on his butt. Man, he is definitely pushing. I think that if Lazzarini makes even just the slightest of mistakes, Adam Smith can capitalize on that.
Adam's car got a little bit squirrely here. I mean,
Yes,
it's a difficult place. You turn to the left, then you turn to the right, and the car is saying, well, decide yourself, and you're like, well, I can't, that's a track.
Yeah, that section is not dissimilar to the Ford chicanes at Le Mans, where it's just like a jolt left, a jolt left, a jolt left, a jolt right, a jolt left, a jolt right, and then it comes out onto a long straight.
But this is a free setup race, so all drivers could decide which setup to run, set the cars the way they want it, and it's very difficult to set up for something like Indianapolis GP.
It is, because there's a lot of corners, but at the same time, there's a lot of straights as well. So it's like, do you tune for straight line speed? Do you tune for the best grip in the corners and, you know, go with a high downforce package? It's a tough one because, you know, there's just about I don't know. It's like you want to tune for Le Mans, but you also want to tune for, I don't know.
Personally, I think that tuning the aero for low downforce and the suspension for, so to speak, high downforce would be the best of both worlds. But what do I know?
Saw a bit of a corner cut with Adam Smith, but it doesn't look like he got the penalty, and it looks like it worked out for him.
You didn't get the penalty if you do it once. But no,
Right.
no, Lazzarini is very...
So squirrely there. Absolutely a really, really hairy situation to be in, because if Lazzarini had like come in just a little bit more to the inside of that left-hand corner, Adam Smith would have been spun around and probably in the grass. But Adam Smith is alongside. Looks like he's trying to make a move. Lazzarini moves inside to cover and make sure that Adam cannot do that. That's some great defending from Lazzarini. You can definitely tell this is not his first race.
That's a nice battle.
Absolutely. And while this battle rages as well, Ed Bailey and Gianvoli are also having a bit of a fight going on in similar spots. And that is for 6th position. Just as a reminder, Adam Smith and Alberto Lazzarini are going for 3rd. But man, Adam is right on his tail.
He's looking right, left, right. Where can I barge myself in? But it's not easy, and Lazzarini is not making it easy.
with 22 minutes left to go in this race, it's that time. It's the time to start making moves, start pushing to get where you want to be. Oh boy, oh, penalty for Pedro Carlos Gomez. Yeah, our second place guy. Oh man, in that same spot.
I was thinking this could become a fight for second and third, but I don't think so. Even if it goes for a drive, it's going to cost him, say it's going to cost him 25 seconds, which I don't think. I think it's
That's what it cost Lazzarini last time. A drive-through penalty last time around costs Alberto Lazzarini around 20 to 25 seconds.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there actually could be something there with Pedro having to come in for a drive-through penalty that might catch.
On the other hand, these guys are 29 seconds away, so he would come like with 4 seconds distance. Let's see. Maybe wrong, maybe not. Let's see.
Possibly. Also, I'm curious, I didn't know the time multiplier. We had mentioned earlier that we might be going into early hours of the morning, but I don't think the time multiplication is as long as we previously thought it would be, and so it looks like we're probably going to be finishing this race in the dark. So it looks like this is largely been a night race.
I think it's getting lighter. By the way, Ed Bailey just overtook Gio Magoni.
Oh, yes he did. Yes, he absolutely did.
Keeping an eye on both fights, we were able to show it to you. I'm learning.
Absolutely. And I don't know who we lost in the process, but Ed Bailey and Gio Navoli are 5th and 6th. Previously they were battling for 6th place. I'm keeping an eye on...
Adam making a move on the... No,
Not
he was just overtaking the back marker.
Confusingly for us, Adam Smith and Lazzarini have the same livery. And so they also show up as the same car number. And whenever we look at them,
and interestingly enough, the back markers are quite good at leaving space, and still this small, let's call it fight against the back marker, cost Adam Smith about 0.6 of a second.
yes, it did.
He's making it stick.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for Ed, it looks like there is a 74-second gap between him and Adam Smith in the next position up in 4th place.
Or to be precise, more than one.
Right. So unless one of our top 4, Linus Lundvall, Pedro Carlos Gomez, Alberto Lazzarini, and Adam Smith, unless one of those 4 have a big off, or Ed Bailey finds a nitrous bottle in his car, it looks like Ed Bailey, if he can hold on to it, will be coming in 5th place.
Or as the 1st of April update of Racing Racing Experience said, and if you pay enough, portals are going to open in the track so that you can bypass parts of the track.
That sounds like race room racing experience.
At least
Started
it
putting
sounds
off
like
the sentence with
April
what you pay
1st, yes. But hey, they gave us the most important vehicle they've ever delivered to the city. A shopping cart with paperwork. In 3 liveries, by the way. Aldi, Lidl, and Sector 3.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I know the Aldi and Little marketing team. We're just laughing our butts off.
Oh, maybe they discussed it between them, but I don't think so. What do you want to say? And amongst a lot of very, very funny lines, they have one saying, we've made now the sim more efficient and using less CPU time by disabling crypto mining.
Here's something interesting. So Pedro, who I believe has not served his penalty yet, not that I know of, but he has gotten a lot closer to Linus Lundvall, who has largely lost the pace that he had. And so it's interesting to see. I mean, he's got it back, but somehow in all of our chatter, Pedro went from like 5, 10, 15 seconds behind, somewhere around there, to less than 2 seconds behind Linus Lundvall.
Yeah, on the other hand, Pedro should serve any minute now. If it's not in this lap,
It better be. Unless it was just a slowdown penalty, which I think we're on drive-thrus for that, based on everything that I've seen. You are right, because we're starting to see. Oh, yep, here we are, Pedro. Maybe he heard us. Maybe he just had it planned. But he is coming into the pits now to serve his penalty. Adam Smith is ahead of Lazzarini. We missed that development, but Adam Smith did make the pass on Lazzarini. And so I can check that off of my Cody Swanson Magic 8-ball predictions.
that has to have been a small error.
Possibly. Lazzarini was really pushing hard to keep that position, and Adam Smith was really pushing hard to get it. And so I think that there might have been a mistake somewhere in there. There must have been, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because they're pacing.
Smith was 1.2 seconds away from Lazzarini. Now he's 0.6 seconds in front of Lazzarini.
And there's there's our friend the sun. Absolutely, the sun in our eyes. That's sim racing's greatest friend.
Yeah, you love it, especially when you're on the road.
Pedro Cruz Gomez is out of the pits. He is, unfortunately for him, 20 seconds behind Linus Lundvall, which is about on the lead. But still in front of Adam Smith and Alberto Lazzarini, who've been slowing themselves down a little bit, and they are 11 seconds behind Pedro himself.
Lazzarini's not letting Adam Smith go, but he's like...
Oh no.
Have a second away all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. He's right on his back bumper, and well, if it was a mistake, it wasn't a mistake that's affected pace so much, because they're still definitely fighting each other for that podium spot. That's the thing. It is a podium spot fighting for 3rd place. So it's all or nothing in a way for these guys. And these are our 4 cars on the lead lap still. Linus Lundvall in first, Pedro Cruz Gomez in second, Adam Smith in third, Alberto Lazzarini in fourth, as we hit 13 minutes remaining, and we are now properly in the daytime. And we've still got a lot of headlights on still, but that's okay.
You know, if I'm Alberto Lazzarini and I'm in the middle of Adam Smith losing a little bit there, a little bit on the backside. If I'm Alberto Lazzarini and I'm in fight against Adam Smith, first I don't want to be watching where's the button for the lights, and second, maybe the lights disturb Adam Smith enough
that he makes an error.
Possibly. I was thinking, just flash the lights at the other guy. Go old school intimidation. Or ultimately, BMW at Sebring knocking out the Corvette. That was real kind of him. I'm still salty. That was weeks ago now. I'm still salty. Corvette had that race in the bag. They were going to win it. BMW comes in and just slams into the back of them in the last 10 minutes of the race. Come on. Hopefully we don't see that that happen here.
This is sim racing. That's much fairer than real life.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mostly the people who shoot others out while in sim racing are real life racers and then say, oh well, it's only a game.
Or they stick to Monza lobbies and project cars. I've never had a worse online multiplayer experience than with an open lobby and project cars.
You haven't been in open lobbies for us at the Corsa much, right?
I have. I'm pretty big on sim racing system.
And truth to be told, I got slammed twice on a DTM race on racing experience.
Fair enough.
Like really slammed that much that the car went airborne.
Speaking of slammed, I'm going through the order here, just looking around, and I am trying to find a car that does not have damage on it. Oh, speaking of going through, Tom Prangley had a bit of an off. He just kind of oversteered on the corner, like mid corner of the first corner, that 90 degree coming off of the straight. But he's back, he's good, no issue, all good. But I'm having trouble. I'm scrolling through here. The only car actually. Aha! I have found one car. Roberto Lorenzetti has no visible damage on his car, and he is the only one on track who does not have visible car damage.
As I said, this is GT racing. This is a contact sport.
Absolutely, but you might as well think it's Wreckfest with how at least the first half of this race was, with the bumping and the pushing. Goodness.
Come on, we've wreckfest enough to know that that's a little bit exaggerated. Just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, now Alberto Lazzarini is something like around a second away from Adam Smith. So he may have trouble with the tires, or he may have decided that the fight was too strong. Anyway, he's going away.
Welcome to the 9-minute mark. By the way, there's 9 minutes left to go of our 2-hour race around Indianapolis. Yes. Now, I could imagine a potential rematch. I know April Fool's has passed, but Porsche GT3 cars around the oval.
Why not?
That would be interesting.
Speaking of that, we are going to see Indianapolis Oval as what is it? 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. Global Enduro is doing his Indianapolis 500 race with the Indy cars. So
Yes, early May. Mark your calendars.
and
Give you that.
the roster is kind of full, but there are still places there. So if you're interested in doing oval, you'll find the link to the Global Enduro Discord in our description, and go ahead and talk to these guys and subscribe to the race.
absolutely. So information on that race, I have the dates. May 2nd, there will be a 1.5-hour test session, followed by a 25-lap test race. It's a good way to get experience and a trial run before the 9th of May, where we will have a full-length race day that's 200 laps around Indianapolis, which is a very large track. So 200 laps, it's going to be a full-length Indy 500. And the car, of course, will be the tentatively will be the Lara DW12 from Studio 397.
Which is a free mod by Studio 397.
Yes.
So as Indianapolis is a free mod and the car is a free mod, there is no excuse not to race.
Speaking of free, Alberto Lazzarini is now 3 seconds behind Adam Smith. Thank me later. And it looks like Adam Smith is going to be solidifying that run. So, again, tentatively, 6 minutes left to go. Linus Lundvall in first. He has had a very, very good showing through the second half of the race. Pedro Cruz Gomez, who started at the back, second to last, and worked his way up to second to first. And then we have Adam Smith in third place. And then fourth place, we have Alberto Lazzarini. Fifth place, Ed Bailey coming back. He's a lap down currently. Behind him, not terribly far behind him, but Gio Nuvoli in sixth place. And then challenging Gio Nuvoli at about the same distance behind that Lazzarini was a little bit ago. From Adam Smith, we have Alessandro Mancuso in seventh. Shane White in... Oh, we have a car off. We have a car off. That car off is Gio Nuvoli. I had to mention him. Yeah. But he's off just before the long straight. He's now back on and going again. Shane White is in 8th place. Tom Prangley in 9th. Miguel Salas in 10th. And Lorenzetti in 11th. Off track, we have Tom Chassing and Pierce Crone as our DNF. Lorenzetti is going into pits. I'm going to guess fuel.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
I'm going to guess perhaps didn't have enough fuel for the end of the race.
Happened to me on a global enduro race in Kyalami. It was 3 laps before it was, or 2 laps, like something minuscule. And I thought with a little lift and coast I would survive it. Nope. I had to go on DNF in a, for me, quite good 5th position.
Lazzarini had a slight off-track wobble. He got back onto it, but he has absolutely lost the ability to catch up to Adam Smith. He is down 7 seconds behind Smith. And so your top 3 fairly solidified at this point. Again, a lot can happen still, but Linus Lundvall in first, Pedro Cruz Gomez in second, Adam Smith in third. And now it's just don't run out of fuel.
Yeah. So we may see a lot of lift and coast. I don't think so, but we may see something like that.
Alessandro Mancuso is kind of going a little slow around that one corner. I don't know if that's a lift and coast sort of deal, but he's definitely lost pace that he had. That's for 6th position, Mr. Mancuso.
And if we're talking about the future, there's gonna be the Indy 500 in May. But next week, Saturday, we are going to be hosting what's it called? The
Open Wheel Racing Championship. They're going to be racing in Suzuka with Formula One cars. And we'll tell you a little bit more about open wheel racing and what. Whoa! Mancuso went
Yes.
really off there.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, Nuvoni is using that. Mancuso won't have anything of that, but oh well, we have.
Yep,
Those
Nuvoli
racing
takes
once again.
6th position in the last 2 minutes. Wow.
That's gonna sting. That's gonna
That's
sting.
kind of big. Yeah. Mancuso is going to try to get that back. They look like teammates because they have the same livery, but there's no love lost there, I believe.
Oh, and they have the same livery because they have the same livery. They both have the 177.
Yeah.
Nuvoni lost a little bit control there, but
Looks like he's
not losing his nerve.
No.
He could have just pressed the throttle and tried to get by, but that would have, I suspect, thrown both off the race.
Possibly, and with just a minute and 10 seconds to go, you do not want to do that.
Exactly. It's a 6-3.
That's where you get fist fights in the pit lane after the race. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah. I remember, what was it? Michael Schumacher wanting to have a word with Mansell, or who was it again? That was like, he had to be stopped like 3 mechanics.
For any of the American friends, perhaps a bit more relatable one would be Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano at Martinsville 2015, where Logano had knocked Kenseth out of the championship, and so it took revenge the next time around and took him out. Oh, yellow in sector 3. Oh, Tom Prangley, big spin. Big spin. But that does not look like it's going to be for any sort of a position at all. Looks like Nuvoli's going to hold on to 6th. The timer is gone off. Linus Lundvall crosses the line. Linus Lundvall is your winner of our 2 hours at Indianapolis Grand Prix. It is... Oh, Pedro Cruz Gomez has gone off. He's gone off on the final corner, but it looks like he will still be taking 2nd place.
Yeah.
Yep, he crosses the line there, still takes 2nd place. Bit of a hairy situation there. Adam Smith now crossing the line in 3rd, and Alberto Lazzarini coming around the final corner, and he will take 4th place. And then we will have about a minute's wait, possibly. No, it looks like they're a lap down, so they'll be crossing through. Ed Bailey, yes, Ed Bailey is crossed. He is in 5th. Gianavoli in 6th. Yep, he has now crossed the line. Mancuso in 7th. Tom Prangley in 8th, avoiding a Linus Lundvall who's decided to do some donuts. And now we're just at the point where we're having fun over on the over right by the corner that was killing everybody. That's the sim racer's way of showing dominance. Go do donuts on the corner that you got a penalty on.
Anyway,
But,
this has been the race in Indianapolis GP of the Global Enduro Group on wonderful Porsches. If you don't have this DLC, I can recommend it. It's a very nice car that is lots of fun to drive, especially here in Indianapolis GP. A reminder, next week on Saturday, we're showing Suzuka Formula One by, I always forget, open wheel racing. And on the 9th of May, we are showing Indianapolis 500 on Indies.
Absolutely. We hope to see you there for that.
So, Cody, any famous last words? Any racer that has impressed you today, especially?
By far, Pedro Cruz Gomez. Starting towards the back, drop back a little bit further after the first lap, and just slowly but surely worked his way up from the back to mid-pack to second place. A very, very strong finish for him. Absolutely.
Especially
My
considering-
driver of the day.
Especially considering that his internet is surely not the best because he is from Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he not only is from Peru, he lives there, so he is racing from Peru.
No, I believe that is I think that was Salas.
Ah,
Or is Pedro
take a look.
also
Give
from
me-
Peru?
give me a sec. Do that. It's
Where-
Miguel Salas. Ah, okay.
Yes, indeed. But Pedro Cruz Gomez is my driver of the day, no matter where he's from, because that was a heck of a drive.
Anyway, this has been once again a race by the Global Enduro shown on WromWrom. To everyone here, have a wonderful evening. Have the best time. And as always, what's happening here? As always, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium. Have a nice one.
Bye.